What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, written and directed by Kevin Smith. Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back tells the story of Jay and Silent Bob, who are off to Hollywood to stop a movie from being made called Blunt Man and Chronic. Now, they want to stop this movie from being made because internet trolls are bashing them, and not only that, they're not getting paid because their likenesses are being used for said characters of Blunt Man and Chronic. Okay, that's the overall plot of the movie. Let's talk about it. I think Jay and Silent Bob is an overall very funny and entertaining movie. I think it has a lot of moments that I did not care for. I think kind of sucked, but overall, I think Jay and Silent Bob is highly enjoyable. This movie is anchored by Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, and I love their comedic chemistry. And in this movie, we get to see that play out in a more feature-length role, and I think it was great. Mewes and Smith, their work with each other as these characters of Jay and Silent Bob, they're just a perfect match with one another. It's like they are like the stoner version of Abbott and Costello, a very underappreciated version of Abbott and Costello, or who Jay and Silent Bob are to me. And this movie really gets to give them a good showcase, gives them a really good showcase, gives their characters a good showcase, and I love it. We get to see a different side of Jay. Jay's a stoner. He's the snoochie boochies and whatever. But this movie gives him a love interest with this character called Justice, played by Shannon Elizabeth, and we get to see Jay as kind of like this lovesick puppy dog, stoner puppy dog in a way, and it's utterly hilarious. Boom boom kitty fuck. I thought that was pretty cool stuff. This movie is full of just really, really funny, of just overall funny moments, and it's again, it's a flimsy story to keep everything together, but this movie's mostly built on just having some good moments in it. Like we get an appearance of from Ben Affleck as Holden McNeil, reprising his character from Chasing Amy, and it's actually this scene that kind of jumpstarts and is the catalyst that gets the movie rolling. It's a very entertaining scene, and it's always fun seeing Ben Affleck play Holden McNeil, and always fun seeing Ben Affleck spew out Kevin Smith dialogue. It just seems natural coming out of his mouth. Uh, we have Will Ferrell in this movie, who plays a U.S. Marshal. I'm sorry, who plays a wildlife marshal who's out to stop Jay and Silent Bob because he thinks they stole a monkey. Um, I have never been the world's biggest Will Ferrell fan. I find his brand of comedy not to just doesn't really interest me. I like Will Ferrell in small doses, and in this movie, when he as the character of Will and Holly, I thought he was actually pretty funny, and I didn't really mind him at all in this movie. I thought he was good. Shannon Elizabeth, who plays Justice, getting back to that. Now, I like the character of Justice. I like that Jay has a love interest. I'm not. I think the whole thing of Justice being a jewel thief, along with Elijah Dushku, Ollie Lander, and Jennifer Schwarzbach, I thought that whole subplot was kind of dumb and just kind of stupid. And there's this whole elaborate sequence when and there's this whole elaborate sequence where they're actually committing a diamond heist, while all the while Jay and Silent Bob are stealing a monkey as a diversion from it. I think that whole plot line is kind of just dumb to me, at least. Though we do get a song, a though we do get a Sean William Scott cameo, which is always nice. So I can forgive it in a way, but I didn't really care for it. Though I would say this stuff with the monkey, some of it is actually pretty funny, especially when we get like a flash, especially where Jay has a vision that's very, very reminiscent of Planet of the Apes, which I thought was utterly hysterical. And we actually get scenes of monkeys pretty much acting like Jay and Silent Bob in one instead vision. So I thought that was pretty humorous. So that was okay. But to me, this movie really starts to pick up steam once Jay and Silent Bob actually get to Hollywood. To me, this section of the movie is the best section of the movie. Once they're in Hollywood, we get cameos from Tracy Morgan, Dietrich Bader, and those scenes are actually pretty funny. But the scenes I like the best are where they go on set to the fictitious Goodwill Hunting 2, and we get to see Matt Damon and Ben Affleck play the characters of Will and Chucky. And it actually turns into a shoot 'em up action movie where they shoot a guy, which is utterly hysterical. We get a Wes Craven cameo where Jay and Silent Bob bust into a uh, bust into a fictional version of Scream 4, and it's always fun seeing Wes Craven play, poke fun and make fun of himself. The same with Gus Van Sant as well. So that was fun too. Seeing Jane Silent Bob interact with James Vanderbeek and uh, and Jason Biggs, who were playing fictionalized versions of themselves, who were starring Bookman and Chronic. That scene was actually pretty entertaining as well. Pie fucker, and then Biggs is all like, all we know is pie fucker. And not only that, I thought, and the little bantering that Vanderbeek and Biggs have against one another as well, where they're complaining to one another, I thought that was highly amusing and pretty funny to themselves as well. So yeah, like the Hollywood section of this movie to me is where the movie really starts. It's where the movie really gets funny, especially when Jay and Silent Bob actually dress up as Blunt Man and Chronic, and they're being directed by Chris Rock, who is playing Chakalutha King, who is pretty much a parody who's pretty much playing a parody of Spike Lee, to me at least. He's acting like all like bigoted towards his white producers and crew, and it's freaking hysterical. And we also get a Mark Hamill cameo, and a bunch of Star Wars references in this third act. Like it's completely stupid and dumb, but it's highly entertaining. So yeah, the the Hollywood section of this movie clearly is my favorite. That doesn't mean this movie doesn't have any other things peppered out that I don't like. We get a George Carlin cameo where he teaches Jay the rules of the world. Where if you want to get far, you gotta give a little head. Which this leads into a cameo by Carrie Fisher who plays a nun, and Jay goes down on her, and she just gets all free and freaks out and like kicks them out of the car. It's fun. It's funny, stupid stuff. I like it. We also we get cameos from Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson reprising their roles as Dante and Randall. They actually filed a restraining order against Jane Silent Bob after they're dealing drugs outside the Quick Stop. So it's always fun to see them reprise their famous roles from Clerks. Always a good thing. Uh, so yeah, those are pretty much my overall quick thoughts on Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. This ain't my favorite Kevin Smith movie, but it's an enjoyable Kevin Smith movie. I like it. It's not of the quality of, let's say, a Clerks or a Clerks 2, but it's highly enjoyable for me. And I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. I did enjoy it. Side note: this movie features a nice cameo by Jason Lee as both T.S. Quint and as Banky Edwards, who Banky Edwards tried to get all the proceeds for himself. That sneaky bastard. So yeah, this review has been disjointed, but I don't care. 8 out of 10 for Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.